I now invite Reverend Carl Johnson, representative of the Jamaican Baptist Union, to say a prayer.
Let us pray. Almighty God, the one we have come to know as Creator, Redeemer, and Sanctifier, we praise you for allowing us to witness this day, a day that you ordained. Our hearts are filled with joy as we gather in our nation's seat of government to receive a friend from our mother continent and the country from whence so many of our forebears were taken. For safe journey to Jamaica, we thank you and pray that each experience he has during the visit all the days of his life. May the ties that bind our nations, ancestral, cultural, culinary, linguistic, and so many more ties, be recognized, reaffirmed, and deepened during his days among us. May this visit be a lesson to the world about what true friendship looks like and stand as a testament that doors that screamed no return in yesteryear have been reopened in the present and will remain open even more widely in the future. O Lord, we pray for the people of Ghana, a country endowed with so many resources and so much potential. Guide them, gracious God, as they seek, as we do, to navigate these turbulent and complex times. Bless our own country, Jamaica, land we love. Our Governor General, Patrick, our Prime Minister, Andrew, the leader of the parliamentary opposition, Mark. And Lord, as our leaders meet, we pray for engaging, meaningful, and fruitful dialogue. May the discourse and deliberations benefit from candor, honesty, and respect, as both countries look forward with joyful anticipation to the summits we can attain in partnership. Continue, we beseech you, to strengthen the relations between our two countries, and we pray that successive generations of leaders will honor and build upon the foundations being laid. We offer this prayer to the sovereign God and invoke God's blessings upon us now and always. Amen.
Amen. You may be seated. You may be seated.
Madam Speaker, I now move, be it resolved, that the standing orders of this House be suspended to permit the honorable members of the Senate to sit jointly with the House in a meeting to be presided over by the Speaker and to receive an address by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana.
Thank you, House Leader. The question is that the standing orders of this House be suspended to permit the honorable members of the Senate to sit jointly with the House in a meeting to be presided over by the Speaker and to receive an address by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it.
Live coverage of the sitting of the House of Parliament. National address by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana.
I crave the indulgence of the members of the House, Senate, and the lower house, along with our guests in the gallery, as we await the arrival of His Excellency. Thank you.
Many of you are wondering why there is so much silence. They are waiting the arrival of the President of the Republic of Ghana, who will be addressing the Parliament of Jamaica and indeed the Jamaican people. So as we stand by to join Gordon House, you can see members of the both side of the House are in Parliament and also the Senate. President of the People's National Party and opposition leader Mark Golding is absent. He is overseas in official business. But you can see other members. You can see the President of the Senate, of the Honorable Thomas Tavares Finson, is sitting against the Speaker of the House, Mrs. Juliet Holness, and other dignitaries in the gallery and in the well of the Parliament as we await the arrival of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana. So there you have it. It's a joint sitting of Parliament. Last night, I must apologize, we were having some technical difficulties with the Mequitalk program, current affair program. We didn't come on at all last night because of the technical difficulties we were having, but hopefully we'll be on this evening. Let's hope and pray the stream stay up with us. We're having some serious technical difficulties, but we're working on it. As we stand by now to join a live coverage of Parliament. You know, Parliament is on recess, and the resumed Parliament or the reconvened Parliament just because of their state visit of the President of the Republic of Ghana. You know, Jamaica and Ghana has a lot of diplomatical ties. You can see now both the President of the Senate and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Mrs. Holness, and the Honorable Thomas Tavares Finson is leaving the well of the Parliament to, I'm presuming, to go and greet or to welcome the President of the Republic of Ghana to the well of the Parliament to address the Parliament. So we are standing by to have a live coverage of here what the President of Ghana has to say to the people of this country. You can see outside there now, members of the Jamaica Defense Force.
His Excellency
You can see
John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana.
along with the clerk of the Parliament. Now the President of Ghana is greeted by the Speaker of the House of Representatives and also the President of the Senate. as he is welcomed into the well of the Parliament of Jamaica. There you go. We're standing by to hear an address to the Parliament and also to the Jamaican people and what he has to say to the people of this country. Jamaica and Ghana has had a long standing relationship and friendship as we stand by to hear what he has to say to the people of this beloved island, Jamaica land we love. Over to the Parliament of Jamaica.
Distinguished guests, you may be seated. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, parliamentarians all, distinguished guests, Your Excellency, it is my distinct honor and privilege to welcome you to the joint sitting of the Houses of Parliament, convened for a special occasion, your address to the Parliament of Jamaica. Your presence here is especially meaningful as Jamaica looks forward to celebrating 64 years of independence and reflects on the enduring friendships and partnerships that has shaped our journey as a nation. On behalf of the Parliament of Jamaica, I extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to Your Excellency. Your visit takes place during the 58th year of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Jamaica and Ghana. It's a testament to the strength of the bond between our two nations, built on shared history, cultural connections, and a mutual commitment to cooperation and development. Today's address provides an important opportunity to further strengthen our relationships while fostering greater dialogue on matters of shared interest. It also serves as a reminder of the important role that parliamentary democracy plays in advancing collaboration. Your Excellency, we are truly pleased to have you with us today and look forward to the insights you will share with our Parliament and our people. I now invite His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, to address the joint sitting of the
The Prime Minister is supposed to.
I now first invite the Prime Minister
Yes.
to welcome His Excellency. Prime Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I can understand that I am welcomed His Excellency so many times that one more welcome may not be necessary. But Your Excellency John Dramani Mahama, my brother, President of the Republic of Ghana, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you formally to the Parliament of Jamaica. It is an honor on behalf of the government and people of Jamaica to welcome you and your distinguished delegation to Jamaica and to this special joint sitting of the Houses of Parliament occasioned by this historic inaugural state visit to Jamaica. Your acceptance of my invitation to participate in the celebration to mark the 64th anniversary of Jamaica's independence is a clear symbol of the importance you attach to our friendship. I, of course, look forward to reciprocating this warm gesture next March for Ghana's 70th anniversary celebration. I again congratulate you on your return to the presidency following the December 2024 elections, reflecting the confidence of the Ghanaian people in your vision and experience. Your commitment to democratic governance, inclusive development, and regional integration resonates deeply in Jamaica. We wish you every success as you lead Ghana in this new chapter and as you prepare to assume the chairmanship of the African Union in 2027. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Jamaica and Ghana share an exceptional relationship rooted in ties that predate the establishment of diplomatic relationships on the 8th of May, 1968. The cultural, linguistic, and spiritual heritage carried from the Gold Coast remains woven in Jamaican society. Through geography, history, and heritage, we are united. Our task now is to convert that inheritance and the solidarity built upon it into shared economic, diplomatic, and institutional power. Since May 2025, our bilateral engagement has gained remarkable momentum through sustained dialogue, high-level exchanges, and deeper cooperation across key areas of shared interest. Jamaica remains deeply grateful for the deployment of the Ghana Army Engineer Reconstruction Corps after Hurricane Melissa. Its work rebuilding roofs in Akongpong, Black River, Middle Quarters, and Thornton, while supporting the JDF's wider recovery effort, brought practical relief and renewed hope to Jamaican families. Ghana's decision to extend the deployment 3 times over demonstrated the depth of the Corps' commitment to our recovery, as well as their fraternity and comfort here in Jamaica. Mr. President, many of your troops did not want to leave. Minister Ablakwa's visit earlier this year further advanced cooperation in health, education, defense, culture, tourism, and air connectivity. and produced a joint communique setting out the next phase of collaboration. Among the enduring symbols of this partnership are two traditional earthen houses constructed by the Ghana Engineering Reconstruction Team and gifted to Jamaica at the Civil Heritage Park. They stand as lasting monuments to the shared African heritage and historical experience that unite our peoples. I am delighted that President Mahama will have the opportunity to view them later this afternoon during his visit to Seville. Building on our clear historical, ancestral, and cultural connections, Jamaica will continue to work closely with Ghana in our common endeavor to secure reparatory justice. We thank Ghana for its leadership on this issue, and I want to thank you personally, Mr. President. You are indeed the African Union champion on reparations, and you led in this first ever United Nations resolution to specifically address reparations and racialized chattel slavery. I am honored to be asked to serve on your Global Advisory Council and look forward to our first meeting in the coming months. I wish to also thank you for your commitment to support Jamaica's petition to King Charles, which will be submitted in the near future. Mr. President, as you are aware, after more than 2 decades of dormancy, the third Jamaica-Ghana Permanent Joint Commission on Cooperation was convened in Accra in May of this year, led jointly by your Minister Samuel Ablakwa and our Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith. And this has given fresh impetus to the relationship. Its tangible outcomes included a bilateral agreement for the recruitment of Ghanaian health professionals to serve in Jamaica's public health system, a memorandum of understanding on defense cooperation, and an amendment to the agreement on cooperation in the field of arts and culture. These agreements provide a strong framework for expanding collaboration in sectors that are critical to the development and prosperity of both our nations. As we both work for the economic emancipation and economic independence of our people, our partnership must also extend focus on the realm of trade, investment, and shared prosperity. Mr. President, on your visit to the Port of Kingston yesterday, you saw the significant investments we have made to establish Kingston as a premier logistics and transshipment hub in the region. Similarly, Ghana, through its own port expansion, is the premier gateway to West Africa. The alignment is clear. By connecting our ports, our peoples, our markets, we can together build a West Africa, Caribbean, Latin America trade logistics corridor. This ambition is given real force in the African Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat, which is headquartered fittingly in Accra. For a Jamaican or Caribbean enterprise, Ghana can be the doorway to Africa. And for a Ghanaian or African enterprise, Jamaica can be the doorway to the Americas. We are pleased. We are pleased that you have charged Minister Ablakwa to work with Minister Johnson Smith on ensuring advancement of a roadmap to support this vision. This state visit represents momentum in the Jamaica-Ghana relations. Now we must move decisively towards building out the practical architecture that will facilitate stronger institutional partnerships, increased commercial engagement, enhanced cultural exchange, and a renewed commitment to working together for the benefit of our peoples. President Mahama, thank you for honoring us with your presence. May the friendship between Jamaica and the Republic of Ghana continue to flourish for generations to come. Medahashi. That means thank you.
I now invite Senator Donna Scott Motley, representing the Leader of the Opposition, to address the Parliament.
His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, the Most Honorable Juliet Hones, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Senator the Honorable Tom Tavares Finson, President of the Senate, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Hones, Prime Minister of Jamaica, members of the House of Representatives and the Senate, members of the Diplomatic Corps, our visitors from Ghana, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and I cannot neglect the judiciary on this occasion. Madam Speaker, there are visits that mark diplomacy. There are visits that mark friendship. And there are visits that remind us of who we are. And this is such one today. It is my honor and my privilege to join this honorable House in welcoming His Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama, to the Parliament of Jamaica. We welcome you, the President of Ghana. But we also welcome a people with whom we have shared a journey for centuries. Our ancestors stood upon the shores of Ghana. They walked through the door of no return. History gave it that name. It was meant to mark an ending, the ending of a homeland, the ending of people, the ending of hope. But history does not always belong to those who write it. Our ancestors crossed an ocean, but they did not cross out memory. They crossed an ocean, but they did not cross out identity. They crossed an ocean, but they did not cross out hope. They carried with them songs that became our music. They carried rhythms that still beat in our hearts. They carried traditions that found new life in Jamaica. They carried faith that sustained generations. They carried an unbreakable spirit that no chain could bind and no ocean could drown. They left the shores of Ghana, but Ghana never left them. It lives in our culture, it lives in our language, it lives in our communities, it lives in us. Madam Speaker, history has a remarkable way of completing its circles. When Ghana emerged as the first independent nation in sub-Saharan Africa, it chose as its symbol at the center of its flag the black star, inspired by Marcus Garvey's vision of the Black Star Line, a Jamaican dream that has become part of Ghana's national identity. How fitting that a dream born in Jamaica should become a symbol of African freedom. How fitting that the story which began in Africa should return, not in chains, but in triumph. Our nations, Mr. President, are connected not only by memory, but by purpose. Madam Speaker, Ghana has not confined itself to remembering history. It is helping to shape it. Your country's leadership at the United Nations in advancing the recognition of slavery and the transatlantic slave trade as crimes against humanity marked a significant moment in the international pursuit of justice. It affirmed for us that this is not merely a question of memory or morality, but one of international law, human dignity, and the continuing consequences of one of history's great injustices. Today, you, President Mahama, you have renewed that leadership through the establishment of the Global Advisory Council on Reparatory Justice, on which 3 prominent Caribbean leaders sit. Our own Prime Minister Andrew Holness, Prime Minister Mia Mottley, and Dr. Ralph Gonzalez have been called to your service. Madam Speaker, I hope that President Mahama's presence here will also inspire us to reflect on our own unfinished journey towards full sovereignty. As we speak of reparatory justice and the enduring legacy of colonialism, may we find the courage to complete our own journey from monarchy to republic and to embrace the Caribbean Court of Justice as our if we are serious about reclaiming our history, asserting our sovereignty, and shaping our own future, then surely we must have the courage to do so fully. May this visit remind us that the journey from Africa to the Caribbean did not end with emancipation or independence. It continues in the work of building nations that are fully sovereign, confident in their identity, and masters of their own destiny. The great Caribbean poet, Kamau Brathwaite, whose years in Ghana transformed his understanding of the Caribbean, taught us that Africa was never a place from which we came. It is a part of who we are. Perhaps this is why this visit feels so deeply significant. For today, the descendants of those who left Ghana welcome the President of Ghana to the Parliament of Jamaica.
A remarkable speech.
I now invite
Quickly.
His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, to address this joint sitting of the Honorable Senate and House of Representatives of Jamaica. His Excellency.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. At the end of my brother, the Right Honorable Prime Minister's speech, he said, "Midasi." Medasi in the Akan language means I thank you, for those who didn't understand what he said. And of course, welcome is Akwaba. I'm sure these are simple words that we've shared over our history. Aside from that, I was a three-term member of parliament, so I feel very comfortable in the chambers of parliament. Right Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Andrew Holness, Right Honorable Speaker, Juliet Holness, President of the Senate, Right Honorable Tom Taveras, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Right Honorable Members of Parliament, it is with profound humility and a deep sense of history that I stand before you, this distinguished joint sitting of the Parliament of Jamaica, to thank you sincerely for the exceptional honor of addressing this August Assembly during my state visit to Jamaica. I bring you warm fraternal greetings from the government and people of the Republic of Ghana, your brothers and sisters across the Atlantic Ocean. I also bring the goodwill of an entire continent that regards Jamaica not merely as another friendly nation, but as an indispensable member of our wider African family. Our gathering here today is much more than a diplomatic engagement. It is a reunion of history. It's a celebration of our shared heritage and a reaffirmation that although the Atlantic Ocean may separate our shores, it can never diminish the bonds that unite our people. The relationship between Ghana and Jamaica is unlike many others in the community of nations. It was not forged by treaties alone. It was forged through shared sacrifice, sustained by resilience, and strengthened by a common belief in freedom, justice, and human dignity. Today, as Jamaica commemorates Emancipation Day and celebrates the 64th anniversary of independence, Ghana joins you in honoring the remarkable journey of a proud people whose courage, creativity, and resilience continues to inspire the whole of Africa, the Caribbean, and the global African diaspora. And Ghana is proud to have been among the first countries to recognize the newly independent nation in 1962. Emancipation Day and Independence Day are not simply national celebrations, they are enduring symbols of humanity's determination to overcome oppression and reclaim dignity. They remind us that even in the darkest chapters of history, nothing can extinguish the human spirit. The story of Jamaica is in many respects the story of Africa. It began in the great civilizations of our continent, the Empire of Ghana, Mali, Songhai, Great Zimbabwe, Buganda, Ashanti, Moshi, Benin, Ile-Ife, and many others. And this is before millions of Africans were forcibly taken across the Atlantic, endured the horrors of the Middle Passage, survived the brutality of enslavement, but found hope in communities in the New World that refused to surrender their identity, their faith, or their humanity. Against unimaginable odds, our ancestors preserved their cultures, their traditions, and their belief in freedom. They resisted oppression in countless ways, ensuring that future generations would inherit not despair, but hope. From the Maroon communities in Jamaica to the liberation movements that swept across Africa, the spirit of resistance of the African endured. And it ultimately gave birth to free nations that were determined to shape their own destinies. Today we honor the enslaved men and women whose labor enriched empires while their humanity was denied them. We honor those who resisted injustice. We honor those who fought for emancipation, self-determination, and national liberation. And we honor the generations whose sacrifice secured the freedoms that we enjoy today. Their courage reminds us that freedom is never given on a silver platter. It is earned through sacrifice. It is sustained by vigilance and is strengthened by unity. As we honor our shared past, we must also confront it with honesty and courage. History cannot be changed, but it can be acknowledged. And only by acknowledging historical truth can we build a future that is founded on reconciliation, justice, and mutual respect. As was recently reaffirmed at the United Nations General Assembly, the transatlantic slave trade and the racialized chattel enslavement of Africans was the gravest crime committed against humanity. The consequences of this grave crime did not end with abolition. The consequences continue even today to shape the patterns of inequality and exclusion that have persisted across our world. For this reason, we must remain steadfast in advancing the global conversation on reparatory justice. Our pursuit of reparatory justice is not motivated by resentment or hostility or a desire to revisit old wounds. It is inspired by our commitment to the truth, to accountability, to reconciliation, and to healing. It seeks recognition of historical wrongs, acknowledgement of their enduring consequences, and a collective determination to build a more just and equitable global order. In this regard, permit me to express Ghana's profound appreciation to the government and people of Jamaica for your unwavering support to Ghana's initiative at the United Nations, which culminated in the adoption of Resolution ARES/80/250, and for your invaluable contribution to the Accra Next Steps Conference on Reparatory Justice. Jamaica has provided principled leadership on this important issue for many years. Together, our two nations are ensuring that the descendants of those who suffered history's greatest injustice are neither forgotten or denied a voice in shaping a fairer world. Our advocacy is ultimately about hope. Hope that our future generations will inherit a world in which historical truth is acknowledged, human dignity is upheld, and justice becomes the foundation for lasting reconciliation. And that is the vision that continues to unite Ghana and Jamaica. It is a vision worthy of our ancestors. It is a vision to which we remain unwaveringly committed. I wish to also reiterate my message to the Right Honorable Prime Minister of Jamaica, Dr. Andrew Holness, yesterday, that Ghana fully supports the petition on slavery Jamaica proposes to soon submit to King Charles III. Right Honorable Prime Minister, Madam Speaker, Right Honorable President, honorable members, while we must never forget the injustices of history, neither must we allow them to imprison us. The story of people of African descent is not simply one of suffering. It is equally a story of resilience, excellence, and enduring achievement. It is a story of civilizations that advanced human knowledge, of freedom fighters who challenged oppression, of innovators who expanded the frontiers of science and technology, of artists whose creativity enriched global culture, and of statesmen and women who inspired nations to believe in the possibilities of freedom and self-determination. Few countries have contributed to this legacy I describe more profoundly than Jamaica. The land that gave the world the visionary leadership of the Right Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, whose call for black pride, self-reliance, and African unity awakened the consciousness of millions across Africa and the diaspora. His ideas inspired generations of Pan-African leaders, including our own founding father, President Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who admitted in many of his writings that he drew strength from Garvey's vision in leading Ghana to independence and championing the liberation and unity of the African continent. The Pan-African movement itself is a testament to the inseparable bonds between Africa and the Caribbean. It was nurtured not only by Africans, but also by distinguished Caribbean sons and daughters, among them the great Trinidadian Pan-Africanist George Padmore, who made Ghana his home and worked side by side with President Nkrumah in advancing the cause of African liberation and unity. These towering figures remind us that the freedom of Africa and the Caribbean has always been a shared enterprise. Jamaica has also given humanity the timeless message of Bob Marley, whose music transcends borders. And whose voice became a universal anthem for freedom, justice, and human dignity. Through your writers, musicians, athletes, and creative talents, Jamaica has projected a cultural influence far beyond its size and has enriched the heritage of the global African family. In Ghana, across the Atlantic, we've never regarded these achievements as Jamaica's alone. We have celebrated them as victories for all people of African descent. Today, although we live under different flags and may speak with different accents, we remain united by a common heritage and an interconnected destiny. The challenge before us is therefore clear. We must transform our shared history into shared purpose. We must move beyond sentiments and build partnerships that create opportunity, expand prosperity, and improve the lives of our people. And as our first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, reminded us, and I quote, he says, "The forces that unite us are intrinsic and greater than the superimposed influences that keep us apart." Those words speak as powerfully to us today as they did at the dawn of African liberation. Now, our generation must secure economic transformation, scientific advancement, and technological leadership. As Bob Marley famously reminds us, emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. The liberation of the African mind remains one of the defining tasks of our generation. It demands confidence in our own institutions. It demands belief in our own capabilities and an unwavering commitment to accountability and excellence. Above all, it requires that our young people see themselves not as descendants of slaves, but as heirs to greatness and architects of an even greater future. Madam Speaker, Right Honorable President, honorable members, the 21st century presents Africa and the Caribbean with an historic opportunity. Africa is home to the world's youngest, fastest growing population, possesses immense natural resources, and is becoming rapidly a growing center of innovation and enterprise. The Caribbean and Jamaica continue to exercise global leadership on climate justice, sustainable development, democracy, and multilateral cooperation. And most of all, Jamaica presents a gateway to the larger American and Caribbean areas. Together, these two regions possess enormous human talent, cultural influence, and economic potential. History has connected us, and the future now calls upon us to work together with greater ambition. We must strengthen cooperation between African Union and the CARICOM. We must deepen our collaboration within the United Nations and other multilateral institutions. And we must coordinate our positions on issues that will define the future of humanity. Whether the challenge is climate change, reform of the international financial architecture, food security, public health, or digital transformation, our voices will carry greater weight if we speak together. The partnership between Africa and the Caribbean should therefore no longer be defined only by our shared past, but also by our shared future. It should be recognized for the future we are determined to build together. It is this conviction that inspired me to call the Accra Reset Conference recently. The Accra Reset reflects our belief that institutions governing the world must evolve to reflect the realities and aspirations of the 21st century. Too many developing countries continue to confront structural barriers to financing, unequal trading arrangements, and inadequate representation in global decision-making bodies. These inequities cannot define our future. The Accra Reset calls for a new development paradigm founded on mutual respect, productive investment, and genuine partnership. It seeks to accelerate industrialization, promote value addition, encourage innovation, exercise national sovereignty over our resources, and equip our young people with the knowledge and skills to compete successfully in the global economy. But above all, it calls for a more balanced international order in which developing countries participate as equal partners in shaping global solutions. And that is why Ghana continues to advocate comprehensive reform of the United Nations Security Council, including permanent African representation. It is the reason why we support reforms that give developing countries a stronger voice within the international financial institutions. And it is why we believe Africa and the Caribbean must continue to stand together in pursuit of a fairer, more inclusive, and more representative international system. When we work together, our partnership becomes more than just a historical connection. It becomes a powerful force for global progress, for shared prosperity, and for lasting justice. Madam Speaker, history has brought Ghana and Jamaica together. The future now calls upon us to deepen that relationship with renewed purpose and greater ambition. Our friendship has endured because it's founded not merely on diplomacy, but on shared values, on mutual respect, and an abiding sense of kinship. We recognize in each other not only trusted partners, but members of the same global African family. The task before us is therefore very clear. It is to transform our historical bonds into practical partnerships that create jobs for our people, expand opportunities, and improve the lives of our citizens. The African Continental Free Trade Area, which has its headquarters in Accra, offers unprecedented opportunities for closer commercial relations between Africa and the Caribbean. With a market of more than 1.4 billion people, it provides Jamaican businesses with a gateway to Africa, just as Jamaica can serve as an important bridge for Africa's engagement with the Caribbean and the Americas. Together, we should strengthen trade and investment. We should promote joint ventures between our business people and encourage greater collaboration between our private sector. We should deepen cooperation. We should deepen cooperation in agriculture, tourism, maritime transport, renewable energy, digital technology, education, healthcare, and the creative industries. We should encourage greater exchanges amongst our universities. And I'm happy to note that the University of West Indies and my alma mater, the University of Legon, already have a twinning relationship. Between our research institutions, between our young entrepreneurs, ensuring that innovation becomes the cornerstone of our partnership. As island and coastal nations, we also share a common interest in developing the blue economy, protecting our marine resources, and strengthening maritime security. Together, we can promote the sustainable use of our oceans while creating new opportunities for economic growth and employment. Climate change remains one of the defining challenges of our generation. Although Africa and the Caribbean have contributed the least to global greenhouse gas emissions, our people continue to suffer a disproportionate share of its consequences. Together, we must advocate climate justice, expand access to climate finance, and invest in resilient structures that protect our communities and secures our future. Let the Ghana-Jamaica partnership become a model for a renewed relationship between Africa and the Caribbean, one that is driven by innovation, by our shared prosperity, our common determination to improve the lives of our people. The friendship between our two countries has already been tested not only in moments of celebration, but also in times of adversity. When Hurricane Melissa's widespread destruction in Jamaica occurred, Ghana responded as family. At the direction of the Government of Ghana, the Ghana Armed Forces Engineers Regiment deployed personnel to assist in the reconstruction efforts. Working closely with the Jamaica Defense Force, government agencies, and local communities, they helped restore damaged infrastructure, rehabilitate public facilities, and support affected families as they rebuild their lives. Their mission was not one of compassion. It was a mission of brotherhood and solidarity in true African tradition. It was not simply an engineering assignment. It was a practical demonstration of Pan-African solidarity. The professionalism, discipline, and selfless service displayed by the officers and men of the Ghana Armed Forces reflects the finest traditions of our military service. It strengthened the enduring bonds between our two nations. Their work stands as a reminder that while the Atlantic Ocean separates our shores, it cannot separate our humanity. When one member of our family suffers, the others must respond. That is the spirit of Pan-Africanism. That is the essence of South-South cooperation. And that is the enduring character of the friendship between Ghana and Jamaica. And let me use this occasion to commend the government and people of Jamaica for your resilience and for your speedy recovery after Hurricane Melissa. Since our visit here in Kingston, Jamaica, one would hardly recognize that Lady Melissa came through here. Jamaica has bounced back. It reflects Jamaica's resilience, and I commend you. The right of persons of African, I use lady because hurricanes are women. They are named after women. The rights of persons of African descent in the diaspora to return to the mother continent is not an act of charity or compassion. Repatriation is not an act of kindness. Repatriation is a right of all persons of African descent to return to the mother continent and settle or reside if they wish. And that is why Ghana passed the Right of Abode Act in the year 2000 and is currently considering a new homeland return bill that will codify residence and citizenship pathways for all members of the global African family. This is one of the articles of the manifesto I wish to push when I become the AU chairman, that all African nations must have a right of return for all members of the global African family. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to conclude by speaking directly to the young people of Jamaica, Ghana, Africa, and the global African diaspora. Our youth are the generation that will define the next chapter of our shared history. Our youth have inherited the courage of our ancestors, but they also possess opportunities that our ancestors could scarcely have imagined. Technology has connected our continents. Knowledge has become more accessible than at any time in history. Innovation has created possibilities that previous generations could only have dreamt about. The future will belong to those who create solutions, embrace innovation, and build bridges across nations and cultures. And to our youth, I say dream boldly, lead with integrity, innovate with purpose, build enterprises that create jobs, use technology to solve problems, and serve your communities with compassion. And never doubt that you can change that, and never doubt your ability to change your country, your continent, and the world. Our responsibility as leaders is to build societies that match your ambitions, societies founded on quality education, equal opportunity, innovation, democratic governance, and shared prosperity. If we succeed, the descendants of Africa will not merely have participated in shaping our future, they would have participated in leading it. Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, Right Honorable President, Excellency Prime Minister, as I conclude, let me return to where I began. Our gathering today is much more than a state visit. It is a reaffirmation that history, however painful, need not define our future. The ocean that once carried our ancestors into bondage must now provide an opportunity to reconnect their descendants in a common pursuit of justice, peace, and shared prosperity. The sacrifices of those who came before us places a solemn responsibility upon our generation. It places a responsibility to strengthen our democracy. It places a responsibility to strengthen accountability. We must build inclusive economics that create opportunities for all our people. We must champion justice and equality. And we must ensure that Africa and the Caribbean take their rightful place as equal partners in shaping a more peaceful, prosperous, and inclusive world. And so let this visit mark the beginning of an even stronger partnership between Ghana and Jamaica. Let it inspire greater investment. Let it deepen cooperation between our institutions. Let it strengthen the bonds between us. And let it demonstrate to the world that a shared history can become the foundation for shared prosperity. As we celebrate the 70th anniversary of Ghana's independence, I wish to thank Prime Minister Andrew Holness for accepting in advance my invitation to be one of our special guests of honor. Together, let us honor our past by building a future worthy of the sacrifice of our ancestors, a future founded on justice, a future sustained by peace, a future driven by innovation, and a future in which Africa, the Caribbean, and the global African family stand together as architects of a more just, more equitable world. On behalf of the government and people of Ghana, I congratulate the government and people of Jamaica on the celebration of Emancipation Day and the 64th anniversary of your independence. May the friendship between Ghana and Jamaica continue to flourish. May Africa and the Caribbean continue to stand together in unity and common purpose. May God bless Jamaica, may God bless Ghana, and may God bless the enduring friendship between our two people. I thank you.
Your Excellency, it has been a distinct honor to welcome you here to the Parliament of Jamaica. We appreciate the insights that you have shared with us and your vision for the future of our two nations. Your remarkable journey through public life has been marked by an enduring commitment to national development and to the service of your people of Ghana, and the wider African continent. It has afforded you a unique appreciation of the demands of leadership, the intricacies of governance, and the importance of principled diplomacy. Your address reflected that depth of experience and reaffirmed the value of our partnership, mutual respect, and shared purpose. We commend your leadership on the global stage and your unwavering advocacy for repatriate justice. Your efforts have strengthened the international call for the historical redress and underscored the importance of confronting the legacy of the transatlantic slave trade in pursuit of justice, dignity, and opportunity for present and future generations. We also salute the people of Ghana, whose creativity, resilience, and enterprise have driven remarkable progress while preserving the rich cultural heritage that continues to find expression in the Jamaica's language, tradition, music, and spirit. These enduring bonds provide a strong foundation for expanding cooperation in culture, education, trade, and wider development. Your Excellency, thank you for honoring this Parliament by your presence. We wish you every success as you continue to lead the Republic of Ghana, and we look forward to welcoming you here in Jamaica in the very near future. Thank you, President.
We have just had a live coverage of the joint sitting of the House of Parliament, live from George William Garden House in Kingston, Jamaica, where the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency, has just addressed the Parliament of Jamaica and the Jamaican people. He's been escorted out by House Speaker Juliet Holness and President of the Senate, Thomas Tavares Finson. His first state visit to Jamaica. But I want to say this for those who are listening to us beyond the shores of Jamaica. The president made a, I don't know if anybody had said it to him, or the Jamaican government had said to him that Hurricane Melissa didn't come into Kingston. Hurricane Melissa came into, we can see now the Prime Minister and Donna Scott Motley, who is representing the leader of the opposition, Mr. Mark Golding, who's overseas in official business. Official business, yes. And you can see that now, but we need to say this, that the president of Ghana didn't realize that Hurricane Melissa came into Kingston. And I think the government of Jamaica is to be blamed for that. They should have escort him or invite him to tour the areas of St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, and St. James, of what happened down there, the devastation of how Hurricane Melissa did to the island, half of the island. As we can see, the president of Ghana now signing the guest book at Garden House. The lady in the black is the clerk of the House of Parliament, rather, in the middle. President of the Senate, Thomas Tavares Finson. House Speaker Juliet Holness, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, Senator Donna Scott Motley, representing the leader of the opposition. And he's given a long, writing a long message in the guest book there. You can see that he also speaks about what a remarkable speech given to the Parliament and the people of Jamaica by Donna Scott Motley before the President speak. After the Prime Minister of Jamaica speak, Donna Scott Motley gave a speech to the people of this country, a remarkable speech by Senator Donna Scott Motley. And many of us know her to be a person who give effort, the word I'm looking for, I don't have it in my mouth now, but she's given a great speech to the people of this country and the people of Ghana. I am being told that some people in Ghana is picking up the Make We Talk program and also other television stations of Jamaica that just carried this live coverage. The president of Ghana is writing a long extended message in the book there as he signed the guest book and give his message. Well, a note to the guest book. There you have it. The president of Ghana has just signed the guest book And he is now there. Hold on. Okay. Prime Minister Andrew Holness, Donna Scott Motley, representing the leader of the opposition, and the House Speaker, Mrs. Juliet Holness, Speaker of the House of Representatives, and President of the Senate, Thomas Tavares Finson, as they take some official photo there. Okay. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, Dr. Horace Chang. We can see Robert Montague, no, sorry, Robert Morgan, rather, shaking his hand. Minister of Finance, Favour Williams. Tourism Minister, Edmund Bartlett, shaking his hand there, bidding him farewell. Colonel Charles Jr., Ambassador Arthur Max, former Jamaican ambassador to the United States, shaking his hand, and also you can see they're shaking his hand. You can see the Minister of Education, Senator, shaking his hand there, and also the Parliament Secretary in the Ministry of State Minister, the Minister of Education and Parliament Secretary, shaking his hand there. You can see the man who's not being charged by the Integrity Commission shaking his hand, Dr. Andrew Wheatley, and you can see Jamaica's own Robert Bobby Montague, the man who hailed from St. Mary. Deputy House Speaker shaking his hand. Another member of Parliament. You can see a lot of them lining up there to shake the hands of the President of the Republic of Ghana. Of course, you can see Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. And the members of Parliament. You can see Olivia Babsy Grange, Minister of Sports, shaking in hand. And other members of Parliament, you can see Corinthia Morrison. It's coming up to shake his hand. She's a state minister in the Ministry of Sports. There you go. You can see Minister of Health, Dr. Christopher Tufton. Along there you can see Delroy Williams, he is the Member of Parliament for Kingston West, I think, Kingston Central rather. Senators of the government side. You can see Senator Christian Vincent Tavares, the son of President Thomas Tavares Vincent. Former Member of Parliament Sharon Hay Webster is there shaking his hand too. We can see Professor Floyd Morris is coming up to shake his hand. Of course, Professor Morris is visually impaired. Professor Floyd Morris, one of the pioneer persons who speak out for the fundamental rights of the Jamaican people. So we're listening, watching from around the world in the Eastern Caribbean. Good afternoon or good morning to those in Ghana who is joining the live feed. We can see now the son of Dr. Fenton Ferguson, who is a senator. We also can see Senator Tomlinson greeting the President of the President of the Republic of Ghana, rather. We can also see behind him is none other than Opposition Spokesperson Agriculture, Dr. Dayton Campbell. Opposition members are now meeting the President of Ghana. They have been introduced by Senator Donna Scott Motley. Yes. We can see Anthony Hilton is being greeted by the President of Ghana. Now we can see Heather Miller of Hanover is now being introduced to the President of Ghana by Senator Donna Scott Motley. We can see behind her the Lady of the West, Nikita Burchell. They're having a few light words that they're chit-chatting and laughing. We can see now our own, there she is. One of the opposition members are being introduced to the President of Ghana. We can see opposition spokesperson finance, Mr. Julian Robinson, being introduced to the President of Ghana. And other opposition members. We can see our own Isaac Buchanan is being introduced to the President of Ghana, followed by none other than Damian Crawford. A new member of Parliament there. We can see our own Fitz Jackson is being joined there, being introduced to the President of Ghana by Donna Scott Motley. We can see our own Zelika Jest is being introduced. She's shaking the Prime Minister. Now she's been introduced to the President of Ghana. We can see Richard Hassan shaking the Prime Minister's hand and being introduced to the President of Ghana, of course, but you're having a light word with Zelika Jest there. Okay, we can see there Richard Hassan having a light moment with Donna Scott Motley, having a little chit chat with the Prime Minister at the same time. Light moment there. The President of Ghana is waiting to shake his hand, but having a little chit chat with the Prime Minister for some reason. There you go. The President is being meted there. We can see Opposition Spokesperson Health, Dr. Alfred Dawes. And of course, the lady from Eastern St. Thomas will be on the program later on this evening. Lady Rose Shaw, Member of Parliament, Miss Rose Shaw, is being greeted by the President of Ghana. There you go. There she is, the last person there. And you can see government, former Minister of Constitutional Affairs and former Judge, High Court Judge, Maureen Malufort is being greeted by the President of Ghana, having a light moment there with him. It is now 11:29 in the land of wood and water. we're listening, watching from around the world and the Eastern Caribbean. This is Make We Talk, coming to you live from Garden House, the state visit of the President of Ghana. And of course, the President of Ghana delegation now is being greeted by the Prime Minister and Senator Donna Scott Motley. They're having a light moment chit-chatting there. The delegation of Ghana is greeted by Donna Scott Motley, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, and of course the President of Ghana. And of course we can see there Speaker of the House Representative Mrs. Juliet Holness. I think they're gonna escort him out. You can see the cameras there on the Prime Minister of Jamaica and the President of the People's Republic of Ghana as they exit the Parliament building down there in downtown Kingston. That's Garden House. I apologize. That's Garden House. Now we're seen back in the well of Parliament. I know Parliament had called back for this joint sitting. I know the Parliament is on recess, that's summer recess. So let us see what's going to happen now in the Parliament as the parliamentarians and both sides of the House chit-chatting there. So we just had a live coverage of the joint sitting of Parliament where the President of the Republic of Ghana addressed the Jamaican people. The Parliament, I was told, is really hot, and I think that's why they're pushing to get a new Parliament building, because the Parliament need a proper air-conditioned unit. It's an old building. It's a very old building, and you can see opposition members are there chit-chatting, and you can see Isaac Buchanan there along with Senator Tomlinson there. Isaac is coming down, going and chatting with Bobby Montague as Bobby Montague is speaking to East Turn Westmoreland Member of Parliament. Yes, the Parliament is very hot, I was told. I had good insight of family members who have been to the Parliament, and they say it's very hot. And I've been told by other members who have been there, it's very hot. They are asking everyone to sit down as we go back live to the Parliament of Jamaica, where House Speaker Juliet Holness, President of the Senate Thomas Tavares Finston is about to speak.
Mr. President and members for attendance.
This Honorable House now resumes its sitting. Let me say thank you on behalf of the members of the lower house to the President of the Senate and all senators joining us today for this joint sitting. You may now take your leave. Thank you.
I don't think there'll be any further business being done today, but as the Senate,
Only the Senate.
members of the Senate is being asked to leave the well of the Parliament, as today is not a Senate day at all. Both Thomas Tavares Finston and Donna Scott Motley is leaving the Senate along with the other Senate members on both sides of the houses as they leave the Senate. Members of Parliament are asked to stay by.
Chief Justice? Not yet, all right? Oh.
Are asked to stay by. or standby rather. No, I do not know if the Parliament has any other business to do this morning, but let us see.
Thank you, members. You may be seated. This Honorable House now adjourns for a date to be fixed. Thank you.
There you have it. The Parliament has adjourned for a date to be fixed because the Parliament itself is on recess, summer recess. They only came back in for this joint sitting of the Houses of Parliament where the President of Ghana gave a speech to the people of Jamaica and the Parliament of Jamaica. So there you have it. Parliament has adjourned to a date to be fixed sometime in the coming month. The entire Jamaican Parliament is on recess. I think both senators on recess also. So there you have it. A live coverage of the joint sitting of Parliament there in Kingston, Jamaica, where the President of the Republic of Ghana had just delivered a speech to the people of Jamaica. But let me say this one thing I find in his speech that I do not like, and I will say it publicly without an apology. And I can't blame the President of Ghana for this, but to blame the Jamaican government. The President of Ghana said that traveling into Kingston from the Norman Mann International Airport, I'm putting in this in it now, that as if there's nothing happened to Jamaica by Hurricane Melissa. I hope and pray that the President of Ghana, which of that I know people in Ghana is watching the Make We Talk program because I was told that. I hope that the people in Ghana who may know him or may know people who know him, that Hurricane Melissa did not affect Kingston. It affected the western part of Jamaica, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, St. James, Hanover, Trelawney. And what the government of Jamaica should have done is ask the president to tour those affected areas. The prime minister, when the president of Ghana said what he said, they're all not the desk. And I'm pretty much sure that, because it is a state visit from a head of state from a different country, you have to be on your best behavior. But I pray and hope that somebody within the opposition party or somebody else may highlight what the president of Ghana said. It is not so. The Jamaican people are facing the pangs of hell. The prime minister, along with everybody else. It is now how many months after Hurricane Melissa, and how many Jamaicans are still living under tarpaulin in the western part of our island. We're in a new hurricane season, and nothing has done to those people. I must sincerely apologize for the Make We Talk program last night. We did not come on last night because of circumstances beyond our control. We couldn't come on last night. But today, hopefully today, we can come on if the system permit, and if other things that I am doing permit. I will come on tonight, and the tonight guest will be as a part 2 of who owns lands in St. Thomas. And my special guest will be the Member of Parliament for Eastern St. Thomas, Miss Rose Shaw. She will be my special guest this evening. And we have a lot of documents to show you. One of the documents we have is a document showing that the land is owned by St. Thomas Farm Limited, I think. That's one, yes. And of course, that company is owned by the former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Colonel Charles Sr. And on that piece of document that I have, it shows that Michelle Charles is a director, and also Colonel Charles Jr. is a director. Colonel Charles' wife is a director, and another sibling that belongs to Colonel Charles is a director too. The question we must ask: who sold Mr. Charles Sr. the 1,300 and some acres of land that he said he owns in St. Thomas and want people to leave from the land? Those lands were sugar company lands. And we need to know, when did he purchase it? Who did he purchase it from? Some things are adding up. The documents that I see, I wish, it need to be, well, let me not go down that road. But come with us tonight. Hopefully we can come on tonight for you to see what I'm talking about. Because we said that we're independent and we just celebrate Emancipation Day. That Jamaicans don't have any access to their beaches. And those who are put to preside over us is fighting the Jamaican people of our crown lands, or the lands that belongs to them. Let me remind Mr. Colonel Charles Sr. We're going to die and leave those properties in Mr. Charles. You already have your house that you're living in. Majority of Jamaicans have no house. And the people who you are telling to leave off of that land, where are you going to put them? Where are they going to go? At one point in a video, it stated that you told the people that they need to move because hotel going to build there and hotel going to build here. When you tell the people to move them off the land because you say the land belongs to you, where are you going to put them? Where are they going to go? Yet, we celebrate Emancipation Day. Yet we're celebrating independence when those who are put to govern this country and who make laws to this country, a former speaker, a former minister, saying that he owns 1,300 acres of land in St. Thomas. And he's telling people to move because he needs that land to build whatever they're going to build. Now they're building a fish pond next to a basic school. The daughter came on this program here, former Member of Parliament, Michelle Charles, was saying on CVM, I pick up the live feed, that the principal of the school is in agreement with her. She said that she get the relevant approval from NEPA. Now I'm being told that NEPA did not give her any approval at all. So the question we must ask ourselves, how many more lies must the Charleses tell the people of this country? Because if Michelle Charles can say that she get an approval from NEPA, NEPA is saying something different. So how are we going to believe that Mr. Charles truly buy those land, and who did he buy the land from? And if Mr. Charles did buy the land, how is it that Mr. Charles can come and tell the people of this country who he bought the lands from? We're being told that he said he bought the land for $1 an acre. $1 an acre. Now, this thing has been going on from in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, coming I was told. And it's still going on. The same people who voted for Mr. Charles when he was running in St. Thomas, the same people who voted for Michelle Charles, they're telling to leave the property. Yet we're telling people that we are celebrating 64 years of independence. A lot of people are not going to like me, But somebody from a radio station or a TV station reached out to me and asked me to give a short video of independence and emancipation. And I said to the person, you truly don't want me to give you that. I said to the gentleman, I am pretty much sure you do not want me to come on your program and tell you how I feel about my beloved country being independent or celebrating independence. Because if we can't give our people access to beaches, are we truly emancipated? Are we truly independent? If we can't give our people houses after a natural disaster, and you're sitting down on over how much $1 billion, are we truly emancipated? Are we truly independent? If you can't give our people for the 64 years proper running water in their pipes, yet Jamaica is well renowned around the globe as a land of wood and water, are we truly emancipated? Are we truly independent? And when I said that to the person was, huh? I said, yes, I will not come on your program and be a hypocrite. So if you want me to come on and be all nice and dumb, I will not do so. And that is my honest opinion. If we have people who sit in the parliament and former people who sit in the parliament blocking access to our own people to have access to the beaches in this country, and if we have former members of parliament and former ministers and former speakers who cannot come and tell the people of this country, show us documents, where did you buy this land, who you bought the land from, then I will not be a hypocrite to come on a person's platform and speak all good. No, this nation is in need of help. And if we as the people sit down in this country and have those who put over us dictating to us, and then when they dictate to us, lo and behold, you hear the whole, or the own rather, 1,300 and some acres of land. Tell me something. Tell me something. Would you come out in an era and say, oh, happy independence or happy emancipation, when your own black brothers and sisters have no access to the beaches? When your own black brothers and sisters, after a natural disaster, have tarpaulin over their roof, and some of them live on a tarpaulin, and they don't have somewhere to lay their head, and we're celebrating 64 years of independence? Huh? Please. And then the Jamaican people who don't feel anything will go to this grand gala. It's going to cost us millions of dollars, while our hospitals has no bed, has no medical equipments and so forth in there. And we're celebrating 64 years of independence. Now tell me something. Am I being anti-Jamaican by saying this? No, I'm not. I am speaking the truth. Cost it what it will. I will not be a hypocrite and go on anybody program. And that's why I told the gentleman, I am sorry, call somebody else, but I will not be on the program and say this. I was shocked when I got the call. And I will not tell you what station or whosoever called me. But I was shocked. And I told them point blank, I'm sorry. You do not want me to come on your program and truly tell you how I feel. It was a good friend of mine who told him to call me. When the person called me after I turned on the thing, when the person called me, I told the person after, I said, listen to me, don't do that. Because you don't know how Jeffrey stay. I know what it's like to go to my bed, don't have anything to eat. I know what it's like to sleep out in the cold. So I will not be a hypocrite and pretend as if I am going to celebrate emancipation and celebrate independence when my own brothers and sisters in this country is facing something, not having a way to live. I will not be a hypocrite and do that. And that is why when I heard the president of Ghana, the Republic of Ghana, said that when he came in, as if there is no hurricane will come through, the man is being, the president of Ghana is fed with a bunch of lies. That's why he could give that speech. What they should have done is have him tour St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, and Trelawney. So for those who believe that this program hosted by me will come out and jump out and say Happy Independence, I may say Happy Independence, yes, but I don't mean it. Because you know why? How on earth can this country, who accept billions of dollars in donation, both from Beryl, Hurricane Melissa, and our people who it's supposed to go for, is still living outside in the cold, in the sun, in the heat? Tell me. And I must come on this program here and be a darn hypocrite to look at everybody. Oh, happy emancipation, happy independence. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I cannot do it. And that is why some people will not invite me on their program. And when I come out and I say the two political parties the same from 1962 until now, where we're 64 years old, what have we gained? What have we gained? This country is well known as the land of wood and water. The majority of our people has no water in their pipe. And you're saying to me that the two political parties not the same? Go and do your history. How much money they spend for water in this country? Trucking water to people. How much money they spend in building this and building that? But they have done it. And I must come out on this platform here and giving praise and thanks to who? For what? Huh? When a majority of our people who live in the rural area of our country has no water, has no road, and I must come out and say, oh, we're independent? You know many Jamaicans who can't afford a tin of mackerel this evening? You know many Jamaicans who can afford a pound of chicken back? But yet we're spending billions and millions on Grand Gala? You know how much money Babsy Grange fork out for this so-called emancipation celebration and emancipation celebration? Do you know how many money that could go a long way in helping other people? Let me not stop anybody from going out there and celebrate their independence and their emancipation, you know. But if we must be true to ourselves, if we, the people of this country, must be true to ourselves, then we must stand up and say, this is not a celebration of emancipation or independence. Because if we don't have access to proper running water in our pipes, and if we don't have access to the beaches around this country, then I have to question it. Is this country truly emancipated from mental slavery? From slavery? Is this country truly independent? When those who are put to govern us are enslaving us the same way, won't give us access to our beaches? Tell me. Am I seen from a different angle, or am I speaking the truth? There's no way I can do this. There's no way I can come on here or send a message to anybody and say happy emancipation or happy independence. I cannot. And I will not do it. I cannot and I will not do it. Our people are not happy. Our people are feeling it. And if we are going to spend how much billion or how much million dollars on both emancipation or emancipation and independence, while our people can't afford a basic thing as a loaf of bread, while our people can't afford a basic thing as a tin of mackerel, while our people can't afford to have water in their one pipe, while our people can't afford to pay JPS, while our people are still living on the tarpaulins, have no roof over their head, and I must come out and say happy independence to everybody, then who don't want to watch this program anymore can stop watching from now. Because this boy will not be a hypocrite and come out and say happy independence to anybody. What I will do, and I've been doing it from last year, I keep on saying this, that this Grand Gala thing is a way to thief taxpayers' money. This Grand Gala thing is a way to waste taxpayers' money. This Grand Gala thing is a way to continue enslaving us. How can we celebrate emancipation and independence while there is no bed in our hospitals? Today I saw a new ambulance system in South Florida here, and I look at it and I said to myself, my God, how much I would love to get one of these to send to my country, Jamaica. Then it dawned on me, if we even buy an ambulance and send it down there and clear, does the hospital have the medical supply to stock the ambulance? And if the ambulance needs servicing, are they going to service the ambulance? Are going to stay there without servicing? Do you know the amount of government vehicles in this country, in Jamaica, that need servicing and cannot be serviced? Tell me, are we truly emancipated? Are we truly independent? Are we? When Miss Mattie and Sister Tem go down to the Labor and Social Security Office to get their part program money, they stand in the line just to get their money. When people go to the passport office in 2026 Jamaica, we're under tarpaulin, we're under tents. Is this an independent nation? Is this a nation that is deserving to celebrate independence and deserving to celebrate emancipation? Are we? The two political parties hasn't served the people of this country well. Have not served the people well. You know how long the people of this country have to travel to Kingston or other places? Say Kingston is the main hub, to get their passport, and have to sit out in the tent. You know what it's like now, sitting out into a tent in this heat? You're telling me that we can't build a bigger office for Pika? to provide for our people. A basic thing as a passport. If we go to the tax offices in this country, the line long from here going back a Negril Point. Tell me. I'm not saying that problems are not here in the United States. It is. But compared to Jamaica, Jamaica is the first country that has a train line service, railway, train line. Look at it now. Where are the trains? Where are the trains? We allow politics to wreck this country. We allow those who are in authority to wreck this country and milk this country and sell this country block by block, callous hand by callous hand. Huh? They're talking that we are independent and we are emancipated and all sort of bloody nonsense. When many of us who have medical issues have to fly overseas, in this country of ours, Jamaica, if one of our own Jamaican citizen get into a car accident and they burn in the accident or anything like that, there's no burn unit in this country. No burn unit. And the two political parties don't see it fit to build a burn unit for this country. People may say, oh, Jeffrey is one party at a time. This has been going on from the PNP in power too. So don't believe that everything coming is going to be changed. We are in serious problem in this country. So when the president of Ghana addressed the Jamaican people, the Jamaican people know what they're going through. The president of Ghana, he has to be diplomatical. If they tell him about Jamaica hit with a hurricane, he don't know the geographical area of Jamaica to know that, hey, X, Q, Y, Z. And when you've been invited to address a country's parliament, you have to be diplomatical. You have to be diplomatical. So you have to give your speech by saying X, Q, Y, Z. Those to be blamed for this speech, to allow those who mislead the president of Ghana, is to be blamed. And the question we must ask ourselves as Jamaicans, because Jamaicans in the diaspora is the one who donate money to our website that don't belong to the Jamaican government. We must ask ourselves who continue giving money to our beloved country, to the government. When are we going to ask for our money? When are we going to ask them when they come up here to have these big highfalutin $2,000 dinner? When are we going to ask them? How we don't have an account of how our money is being spent? But we continue giving. So who is the idiot? You believe those who govern this country is the idiots? We are the bunch of jackasses because they continue milking us like cows. So if we don't put a stop in and hold them accountable, you think it's going to stop? You think it's going to stop? Jamaicans are having big celebration here in the United States and all around the world as independent, while our sisters and brothers are suffering, don't have anywhere to live after a natural disaster. And those who live in the Jamaican diaspora refuse to call it what it is, refuse to call out what is going on, refuse to come on programs like these and speak the truth. All I can hear, they call one away, Lord, Mr. Tavares, whoa, the country, this and... Don't call me one away, come on here and speak. When you have our people who can have access to beaches in this country to go and relax after a stressful week, then you're telling me that we have the right to celebrate independence and have the right to celebrate emancipation, while our people have access to running water, don't have access to the beach. And you're saying to me that Jamaica get to where it is under one political regime? Come on, people. Wake up. Wake up. And that is why people not gonna like me. Because I'm neither a P nor a J. I'm a Jamaican. And Jamaica come first for me. How many more independence and Grand Gala are we gonna have before we call a spade a spade before we say to them, say, no man, enough of this nonsense. I'm not saying we haven't gotten too long. I'm not saying that we haven't gotten a far away. We have gotten a far away as a people. We have. But more could have done before. More could have been done. If we should check up how much money these two political parties robbed from us in this country, would build a brand new KPH hospital with all what we need. It could give the entire island of Jamaica running water in their pipes. But what we do in this country, we sit down and we say we are die-hearted this and die-hearted that. And this is wrecking this country. So, I am sorry for those who wanted to pick up their phone or send me a message to say, Jeffrey, can you come on to speak about independence or to wish Jamaica? Wish where? Wish where? Or to celebrate emancipation. Emancipation where? Emancipation where? Majority of our Jamaican people don't like to go to their bed and are hungry now. I have a doctor friend of mine who lives in the Cayman Islands, Dr. Ebanks. And look at me one day and say something to me that I'll never forget. If you have a loaf of bread on Christmas Day, and what you can afford, and a tin of mackerel, eat it and satisfy and go to bed. When a country or when a government cannot provide for its people the basic thing as water, health, education, jobs, something is fundamentally wrong with the governing of this country. And you have some Jamaicans down there who don't want to work, you know. You have some young men down there. All they want to do is go up on the can and dig out their handbagger. They don't want to work. I have people calling me. There's a company that I know. The man called me and said to her, well, as a matter of fact, he called my wife and said to my wife that they need people to work. Right there in St. Elizabeth. So you have some Jamaicans who don't want to work. You have some Jamaicans who love the freeness, who love to call and tell people a lie to get some money. But they do not know what other Jamaicans going through up here. And that is why I'm saying to you, as they celebrate this independence, and as what the president of Ghana said a while ago, I think it's time for us, as a people, to do some more education. Those who are on social media, to do some more education to the people of our country, Jamaica, and to people who live outside of Jamaica. Educate them some more. It's not all about getting something from TikTok or getting something from YouTube. It's not all about give me something, no, super chat on. It's not all about that. It's about educating our people the right and proper way. And I'm sorry. I am so sorry that if we don't do things like this now, we're leaving at Jamaica for children, that they're going to cry shame off of us. If we don't do something to change the dynamic of this country, then we're going to leave at Jamaica where our children are going to be crying shame of us all. We have to do something to leave a better Jamaica for our children. We have to. Thank you all for watching the live coverage of the state visit of the President of Ghana. He addressed the Jamaican Parliament and the Jamaican people a short while ago. I decided to go a little bit longer. I must apologize for those who wanted to watch the Make We Talk program last night. We do apologize. We had some issues that we had to deal with. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause. We're going to try and come on this evening. I hope my guests can still come on. My special guest last evening was supposed to be, was Member of Parliament for Eastern St. Thomas, Miss Rose Shaw. Hopefully everything is working tonight. We're going to have her to come on. It's a part 2 of what is going on up there in St. Thomas. My fellow Jamaicans, as I leave you off here now, let's remember in Jeremiah, it speaks about the plan that God had for all of us. And then in all our prayers that we're praying to God for, we must pray for where we live, and we must pray for island home Jamaica. We must pray for the entire world. Because if we don't know what is going on around the world now, then something's wrong with all of us. Our nation is in need of prayer. Many may say, boy, we pray a long time, Jeff. No, continue praying. The man in the Bible that prays about 3 days or 7 days, continue praying. Because if we don't pray and acknowledge the Almighty God who has done so many things for us, who else will? We need to. So as many of us may want to celebrate, let me not stop you from celebrating. But I will not celebrate something that I strongly believe that it is not so. I will not support something that I know is not so. I will not support it because what is going on, it's about our people. It's about we, the Jamaican people. It's not about any PNP or any jail or any PNP. It's not about the UIC or the Never Dare Move as the NDM, because they're not going away either. It's about we as a people. And we must hold those who are in authority accountable. We must dig deep, very deep. Who own the 1,300 and something acres of land? Who truly own it that Mr. Colonel Charles Senior said that he has? Who did he buy it from? Who did he buy it from? Who owns it? We need to know. Who did it buy from? Well, join us this evening. We're going to find out. I'm going to ask questions. It cannot be that the people of St. Thomas continue living the way how they're living. It cannot be that we, the people of our country, have no access to our beaches. It cannot continue. Cannot continue at all. And I just want to say to you all tonight, or this afternoon, not tonight, this afternoon, or this afternoon, that let us continue to lift our country in prayer, lift this program in prayer, lift ourselves and our people and our family in prayer, and this nation, the United States, into prayer. Until you hear my voice again, I'm Jeffrey Tavares saying so long. May God bless you. May God bless our island home, Jamaica land we love. See you all at 7 o'clock this evening. God's willing. My special guest will be the Member of Parliament for Eastern St. Thomas, Miss Rosemary Shaw. We'll be speaking about who truly owned the lands that the Charles are speaking about, are saying that they own, that they're building their fish pan on. Former Member of Parliament and former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Colonel Charles Sr., and his daughter, former Member of Parliament for Eastern St. Thomas, Dr. Michelle Charles. My special guest this afternoon, or at 7 o'clock this evening, will be none other than the Member of Parliament, the People's National Party Member of Parliament for Eastern St. Thomas, Miss Rose Shaw. I'm Jeffrey Tavares. So long, everyone.